Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Just wanted to come with a quick, short, um, just a quick short video. This wasn't really, I didn't really have this plan scheduled, so that's why you see I'm in my car. But I've been seeing some news today that there was a backlash in Sri Lanka against the Muslim, basically all the Muslims there, and just wanted to talk about, you know, the this of course is the fault of the idiot fools who, I don't know what they thought they were going to accomplish if it was even Muslims that did it. That makes me, this is another thing that makes me wonder, because look, people who do investigations, they always say to look for the motive, behind an incident that takes place. Always look for the motive. What's the motivation? You know what I mean? Who benefit? And then they always say, who benefits from said action and activity? So, when we hear about incidents like this, it makes you wonder, who's behind it, who's behind the action, and who benefits from the action. Because again, this terrorist attack, like many of the terrorist attack we hear about, there really is no benefit gained for the people who are accused of committing the act, right? No benefit is gained by it. You know what I'm saying? Real quickly, yeah, don't forget, people who are coming in to watch it, don't forget to like the video. And as I always say, we need your help. We need your sponsorship. You can always help and support us through the links in the description of the video. All right. Wa alaikum salam to the brother Zach Muhammad Zakaria. So, like I was saying, back to the subject, is that, you always want to wonder and ask the question, who benefits from said activity, right? Who benefits from this activity? And as we see from all the from all the terrorist attacks that have taken place, right? Muslims are accused of committing the act. Wa alaikum salam. What's that? I'm a rule, right? Wa alaikum salam. When these terrorist attacks take place and Muslims are accused of committing the act, I always wonder, did Muslims really did it? Because there's no benefit, right? No benefit is gained. Salafi dawah, wa alaikum salam. Right, exactly. So, no benefit is gained. The Muslims don't get any benefit from these acts. In fact, it usually winds up causing more harm to the Muslims, right? So I begin to wonder, I asked the question, are Muslims behind it really? Because they don't bring any benefit to the Muslims, right? This last attack that happened in Sri Lanka, it was senseless, right? It was senseless. They targeted several churches of people just going to church service. What benefit is that going to bring to you? They claimed, the Muslim group who did it said they did it because of what happened, what was going on in Sri Lanka, oppressing Muslims. Okay, legitimate claim, but the action taken brings no benefit, right? Legit. If the Muslims in Sri Lanka have been, oppressed and mistreated or whatever, doing that, blowing up church people in churches, that's not going to help you, right? That's not going to help you. That's not going to bring any benefit. And you didn't do anything. You know what I mean? You didn't do anything. All you did was harm innocent people who are civilians. It's not like it was military versus soldiers, right? It wasn't like some Muslim soldiers said, okay, we're gonna fight the Sri Lankan military and we're gonna have a fair fight, soldier against soldier. right? You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it's soldier against soldier where you could say, okay, at least it's soldier against soldier and they fighting each other like that. No, these people, whoever did it, went and harmed. If it was even Muslim, but if it was Muslims that did it, all you did was harm civilians in their churches. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything to cause or to stop or repel the to stop get the oppression off of you. You didn't do anything. All you did was harm innocent people in their churches who are not soldiers, who are not in the military, and you get no benefit from that, right? And now all you've done is cause a backlash on Muslims. So the thing that again, I'm all speaking on what we just heard from the media. All that happened now is you claim the Muslims were being oppressed or whatever. You didn't stop the oppression by blowing up churches and people in the churches, and now you cause more harm now to come upon the Muslims now. So now innocent Muslims are being harmed even worse now, right? Now more innocent Muslims are being harmed. Right? Now all that's happened now is more harm is now coming to the Muslims. So you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. But cause more harm to the people who you claim that you were acting in defense of. Now widespread hatred has increased, and now mobs of people in Sri Lanka are attacking Muslims wherever, harming innocent Muslims. So what did you accomplish? The people who committed this act, if it was Muslims that did it, what did you accomplish? Right? And so that brings me to my point about who benefits from this. Because if Muslims did it, you're not it's not something that's causing you to benefit. It's causing more harm to Muslims. So if Muslims did it, you were foolish. You were foolish because now this act has caused more harm to Muslims now. If it wasn't Muslims who did it, then they benefit, right? The only people who benefit from this act are non-Muslims who hate Muslims. So that's the suspicion that I have, that who's benefiting from this thing. This act caused more Muslims to be harmed. So really, whoever did this act, if it was Muslims, you get no benefit. If it was a setup to cause harm to Muslims, then those people benefit. If there are people in Sri Lanka who hate Muslims and want to cause harm to Muslims, they could have done this act, blame it on the Muslims, and now they get the benefit because now the Sri Lankan society is angry at Muslims, and now they're attacking Muslims anywhere they see them, attacking Muslims in their homes, at their stores, in masjids, on the street. That's who benefits. People who hate Muslims actually are benefiting from, they're the ones who get the benefit from the act. Just like when you go back to 9/11, right? When you go back to 9/11, you say, who benefited from 9/11? If it was Bin Laden and Al Qaeda who did it, they didn't benefit from the act. The only ones who benefited from 9/11 were the American government and the politicians, right? Because now they got what they wanted. They got a war. Now they have the right to go, or at least a claim to invade Iraq and occupy the territory. So they benefited from it. And there were, if you're familiar with the movement that was called, what's the movement called? 9/11 was an inside job. Remember that movement? I don't know what happened to them, but remember that movement that came out after 9/11? Even Alex Jones, right? Even now, Alex Jones he's anti-Muslim now and all that stuff. But back in those days, even Alex Jones was calling 9/11 an inside job, right? He called it an inside job. They called it a false flag. So even though now he switched his tune, now he's something different now. But back then, he wasn't promoting that bigotry against Islam. He was saying that 9/11 was an inside job, false flag, There was the 9/11 was an inside job crowd, right? The truth movement, exactly, all those 9/11 truth people. And that's one of the things that they said. They said, who benefits from 9/11? I forgot her name. There was a woman who was on one of those documentaries, on either Alex Jones or one of those 9/11 documentaries. And she was talking about, when they do investigations, you always look at the motivation for it and who benefits from said action. And the Muslims didn't benefit from 9/11, right? Al Qaeda didn't benefit from 9/11, right? All that did was cause a legitimate reason for George Bush and American government to now have a reason to go invade the Middle East again, to occupy, to invade Iraq. So who benefited? They benefited from 9/11 more than Al Qaeda, right? Supposedly Bin Laden was upset because America was occupying Muslim lands and stuff like that. Well, stupid. Committing 9/11 caused them to do what you said you didn't want them to do, right? Doing 9/11 caused the American government to once again occupy another Muslim country. So you wonder who really benefited from 9/11, right? So you wonder who benefits from 9/11. The Muslims didn't get any benefit from that. They got worse. They got occupied even more. They got bombed even more. They got invaded even more. So really, they didn't get any benefit from 9/11. None of these terrorist attacks that are blamed on Muslims benefit Muslims. They don't benefit the Muslims. So it makes you wonder who's really responsible for these acts. But I want to bring it back to the Sri Lanka thing. I just said that just to tie it in, to show you that all these acts that are committed, and whether a Muslim takes responsibility, whether a so-called Muslim organization takes responsibility, or they blame it on a Muslim group, the Muslims do not benefit from the action. So I'm putting this word out again. I've made other videos before, but I'm putting this word out again to the Muslim brothers and sisters who may be angry, right? Who may be angry at some oppression or mistreatment or whatever, that this is not the way to do it. Harming innocent people in retaliation for them harming innocent Muslims is not bringing benefit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for self-defense. I will never back down from Islam's teaching of self-defense. But harming innocent people in churches, in synagogues, or on the streets, that is not self-defense. That is not helping the Muslim cause. So I would advise you to channel your anger in a more constructive manner. But committing random acts of terror, harming innocent people, that brings no benefit to the Muslims. It doesn't help the cause because you're not removing the oppression. You see? So it doesn't bring any help to the Muslim cause. So I'm saying it again. I have other videos. If you go look on my channel, I've done other videos in the past where I've addressed this, and I keep telling the Muslims that this is not the way to go. Okay? Again, I'm with you. You know, I speak out against oppression. You know, I speak out against the mistreatment of Muslims and bigotry against Muslims. But I will tell you very clearly that committing these acts of terror, if Muslims are involved legitimately, or if you're thinking about, if there's somebody out there in the world thinking about this, this is not the way to go. That's not the way to do it, because it's useless. That's, you know what I mean? If you're a military tactician, then you would devise some better plan than that. Harming innocent people, that's cowardly. I'm just gonna say straight up, that's cowardly. Just like when they do it, when Israel harms innocent Palestinians, that's cowardly, right? When any other Western government bombs Muslim towns and villages and whatever, that's cowardly. So it's the same thing when Muslims, if you do that, you're being cowardly just the same, right? You're being cowardly just the same, because you're not removing the oppression off of you. Back in the time of the Prophet, when peace be upon him, when they fought to remove the oppression and persecution off them, what did they do? They fought man to man, soldier versus soldier, right? You don't read about the prophet and them going out and harming the random people from amongst the Quraysh. He didn't do that, right? And you know the stories that say that when they did have battles and he saw that women and children got killed, the prophet was upset and he ordered that when you go to battle, don't kill women and children. Don't kill the elderly. Don't destroy. Even in the Quran, it says don't destroy the churches and synagogues where God's name or Allah's name is mentioned. Even though they may not believe in Islam, but he said don't destroy them. Right? We know further in Islam, you don't destroy the trees and stuff like that. You don't poison the waters. You don't cause mass destruction. This is the way of these kafirs. This is what they do. This is what these devils do, right? That's why they build nuclear bombs and all kind of destructive weapons, because they have no consideration for any life. They'll destroy everything. That's their way. That is not the Islamic way. And we have the evidence. The prophet taught that we don't cause mass destruction. If we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight legitimately, and it's gonna be soldier versus soldier. You don't go as a soldier and run through the society and you start harming any people who are not believing. No, that's not Islam. That is against what Islam teaches. I'm saying it. So once again, I'm on the record as condemning harming innocent people and terrorism. If it's gonna be a fight, let it be warrior versus warrior, soldier versus soldier, military versus military. But you don't go and just say you're angry because Muslims are being persecuted and then you're going to harm the regular civilians, man. It doesn't help. It doesn't bring any benefit. You're not getting anywhere with that. You know what I mean? I always thought about that. I said, you're not getting anywhere with that because the military is still there, right? The military is still there. The soldiers are still there. The people who have the equipment and everything to fight you and oppress you are still there. You hurt innocent people. That's cowardly, man. That's weak. And it doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't bring any benefit to you. So this is why I begin to wonder if Muslims are even involved. If they are, then this is not the way to go. You're not getting any success, right? You're not getting any success. You're not making any progress in removing your oppression or stopping your persecutors or oppression. So that's the first thing. It brings no benefit at all. So, you guys really need to look back at the prophet's life. I know the haters try to claim that the prophet was all, but no, when you look at what the prophet did, the prophet was he was a leader. He was a true leader in every aspect. And when it came to military battles, he was a military tactician, right? I've even heard that they study the battles of the prophet amongst other battles, but amongst his battles, they study them. Why? Because he was a military tactician. You don't waste time attacking civilians, blowing up churches. What is that going to do? That's nothing. When the prophet fought, when they had to fight, they fought soldier versus soldier, warrior against warrior. Because that's how you get effective progress. Harming the civilians of a society, that does nothing. That does nothing. You see, it's weak. It's soft targets. And again, that's why these haters, these devil kafirs, that's why they're weak. When they attack Muslim women, it's weak and cowardly. When they attack old Muslim men, old Muslim women, weak and cowardly. When these devils go into a synagogue and shoot up the church, or when the devil, the coward that went in New Zealand and other places, and they go into the mosque and shoot up people at worship, it's cowardly. And that's why they don't want to attack the men, you see? Because they're cowards just the same. If you really want to get it in, you step to the Muslim man to man. And then we talking, let's see who's really about the business, you see? But that's why those cowards attack Muslim women. Muslim women are the biggest targets of these cowards because they don't really want to fight man to man. They want to attack women. They want to attack old people, old Muslims. They want to attack people while we praying. Suckers, man. In America, we call that you a sucker. That's a punk. So Muslims, those if Muslims are really responsible for such terrorist attacks, you are being suckers and punks too by attacking people in churches, regular people in churches. They ain't got no weapons. What are you doing? It always should be man to man, soldier versus soldier, warrior versus warrior, but not harming innocent people, brothers and sisters. Okay. It's almost time for iftar. As you see, the sun's going down, so let me go ahead and like I said, I just want to do this short video to address this issue. But the sun is about to go down. I'm about to head to the masjid and break my fast. I pray that Allah blesses you with a good and successful Ramadan. May He accept your fast. May He accept my fast. But again, like I said, I just wanted to touch on that just to show you how sad and silly it is that whoever did this act, again, if it wasn't Muslims, then they got the benefit, they got what they wanted. If Muslims are really not responsible for the attacks in Sri Lanka, then they got the benefit because they got what they wanted. Now they got the whole society in Sri Lanka attacking innocent Muslims wherever they find them, right? So if it wasn't really Muslim, then whoever did it got the benefit that they wanted. They got the benefit of now everybody's in Sri Lanka, not everybody, but a large majority of people in Sri Lanka are now attacking random Muslims wherever they can, wherever they are, in their houses and on the street, in their synagogues, in their masjids, at school, etc. If Muslims did it, then you didn't bring any benefit. Now you made it worse for Muslims. Now you made it worse for Muslims. So again, I'm putting the word. I know my platform is not as large as I want it to be. That's why, again, I asked you to support my platform. Brothers and sisters, I need 3 more Patreon. Alhamdulillah, we got 7 now. We got another one the other day. I need 3 more people so we can get my Patreon page to 10 supporters, inshallah. Because I want to get my voice. I want to expand my voice out there. Right now, I know I don't have much, so I'm gonna just say it with my little platform that I have, and inshallah, may it reach how many people it can reach. But I'm asking the Muslims, please, if again, I'm not saying that we definitely did it, but if Muslims have done this, or if you are a Muslim thinking about such acts, don't do it. It is not the way to go. That's not how you do it. Okay? That is not the way. It is not the way. And don't let anybody talk you into doing it either, because there have been many, so-called fake terrorist attacks in the past that they claim that they had thwarted, and you find out that the person was coerced by an undercover agent, right? Like the underwear bomber and the Christmas tree bomber and stuff like that. Some of these acts were fake, meaning the FBI set it up. And I talked about this also on some of my past shows, where some of those acts were not even real. The FBI had an undercover agent talk to a person who was naive and gullible and talk them into committing an act, but the act was fake. They would give them like a fake bomb or fake materials and stuff like that. And then they say, oh, we stopped the terrorist attack, but it was fake. So I'm telling you again, don't let people talk you into it either. If somebody comes to you as a young person or whatever and says, hey, why don't we commit an act or blow up something? Don't fall for that. Tell them no. Say no, that's not the way to go, and walk and get away from them. Because a lot of these acts, they try to find people to coerce you into committing an act, and it's fake. So don't let people play on your anger. Don't let undercover agents play on your anger and try to get you to, do an act. Or if somebody is legitimately real trying to get you, don't fall for that either. Okay? It is not the way. I repeat, it is not the way of Islam. That's not how you do it. It's cowardly. It brings no benefit. It makes no progress in trying to remove your oppression or your persecutors off of you, because it doesn't bring the benefit. You're not fighting warrior against warrior. All right, so I'm going to end it there so I can go ahead and make it to the masjid for the iftar. I appreciate those who tuned in to watch. Don't forget, again, support the Patreon page or make a donation to the PayPal, so that way we can expand. So I can expand my platform and expand and amplify my voice, right? Amplify my voice to the Muslims and to the world, inshallah, whether it's Muslims or non-Muslims, inshallah. So I need your help in doing that, all right? But again, let me end it right there. Again, may Allah bless your Ramadan. May you have a successful fast. And I will see you guys on our next show. Assalamu alaikum.